I've gathered all of my, okay, this is not all of it. I'm gathering all of my, you know, mail and things that, as I've been processing, the things that come into my house, they've been in a pile over there in a box that I was just collecting them in order to make this video. And now it is time that I go through it. I am not going to keep all of it. I can't use all of it. But my goal was to create a junk journal out of literally the stuff that has come to my house. And just kind of take you along my journey here. And I see some great things and I'm like, oh, I need this. This had a button in it. And so I'm thinking, I can use this. Yes, maybe I can, but I need to sort what I can and what I can't use. Vintage envelope, of course. A book. I had a lot of books that I had collected, you know, junk journal. I was rescuing them from, you know, various places. And I finally decided I cannot keep them all. But I could keep some things from them and recycle them to the next person who wants to use them. So that's what I did. And this package I got, which has my information on the back of it, but that would be fun to alter. So I'm going to go through this not on camera because there's just so much of it. And I'm going to decide like what I want to use that might feel more like my vintage vibe. What if it feels just like everyday, common, you know, ephemera? I bought my desk that I would want to use and go there. And I have another box over here on the floor. And I'm just going to put all the stuff that needs to be recycled into that. And I'll just kind of sort it out as I go. But the plan is to process it and downsize it. Okay, I've gotten to the bottom of this. Now there's these little end cuts, which I don't need all the end cuts that I end up with, but I thought a couple of them might be fun elements on a masterboard or something. So I'm gonna find a little bag or something to put those in, but I thought I would show you what I'm working with here. So my first thing is, if it absolutely looks like it matches whatever's going in here, which is kind of more of a vintage vibe, I put it there. Then if it looks more just common everyday ephemera, I'm putting it there. Not a lot. Then, if it is some kind of packaging or, you know, these are cardstocks that I had, you know, misprinted. Cardboard envelope, it goes there. Pages, whether it's, I think this was a magazine page or this is actually a card, but you know, notes pages. I've got some wax pages, and I've got something from inside of a frame, which could be, you know, a page. It's going in there. Pieces of, you know, that are cut or torn are going in there, and then all the envelopes are going in here that I can't keep all this stuff. This is what I have to, you know, just organize and then pick a couple out of here that I want. I know I'm going to want to use this for my postal mail journal that I'm collecting things for. And this one, so cute. So anyway, they're going there. And then any kind of other, you know, packaging texture things, they're here right now. And, oh, and the last thing was in this bag is where I'm putting all the, you know, plastic things that you'd use for stamping or texture making or whatever. And then from that, I will decide which things I want to use for this junk journal that I'm working on right now. And the rest of it's going. It has to go. If it's not assigned to a project, like I cut these off a couple of envelopes, I'm not going to keep the envelope. But this will go with the postage stamps to go in my postal journal. So that's kind of where I'm at. I'm going to fill this box up and take another round through. Okay, I filled it up again. And I thought I would just show you an example. This bag is full of like items for a black and white journal. So I have made one, and a lot of this stuff was left over from that project. I have not made an all black and white journal since then, but I have collected this, and I'll add things as I go so that when I'm ready to do that again. And then they just store, let's see, you know, they're standing up. I've got these little organizers, and all my little projects that I'm collecting for go together. I hope that made sense. I hope that made sense. And then not all of this was the stuff that came in the mailbox. Clearly, as I was cleaning out my room a week or so ago when I got this new desk to make room for everything, I had to clean out, I had 2 pieces of furniture that left, and one of them had a bunch of drawers and they had things in there, and so I've gotten rid of a lot of it, but some of it went into this pile to be considered for junk journaling, and now it is to be considered for definite, or it's going out in the trash. So this had been a package for something, and I really liked the imagery and all the little stars, and they were just sitting in that drawer. But I have a package full of sky, planets, elements, all different stuff. So this is where I've been putting these. What else is in here? Yeah, anything that I get that looks like it would go with that. So I thought maybe a couple of these things would go in there. I'm not going to keep all of it, but maybe a couple of these. I thought I would explain why I'd saved them. I thought this would make a good spine for whatever journal I'm going to make, you know, out of stars and astronomy and the skies and stuff. Or they could be, you know, tags or tag toppers or tabs. So that is why they're here, but I'm not going to keep all of them. Okay, so this printout came with a project of elements, like these elements that were to make this project, in a bag from a like charity shop, and I purchased it probably, you know, for 99 cents or $1.99, and I have probably used most of the elements that were in there, you know, for another project, but I kept this. Why? I don't need this. I don't need this. I did decide that it would make a great page in a junk journal. But like this came off of a tag, probably not this one, but similar. This will go in my black and white journal bag. Tags, you know, I don't need to keep every tag. In fact, I have a lot of tags. But this is a good quality one. It already has the brad in it, or I'm not sure what this is called, but I'll use this. This one, I need to let it go. And what I discovered when I cleaned out that multi-drawer chest was some projects or things that are new. Like, I don't even think I ever opened this up and used it. It feels very unused to me. Yeah, look at all the, still got all the glitter pages in there and solid pages. So this will have to get used. So it's going in this one right here. Okay, so I saved several of these after I put them in sticker books, and I thought, well, you know, it'll make a good sturdy journal card back or masterboard back. But it also has these, you know, holders, which I could imagine it being, you know, like a junk journal would have to be smaller, right? And then put a spine on it. Heck, I could get 2 out of this, but one, you know, one could be the closure. See, this is why it takes me so long to go through stuff, because my brain is working like, how can I reuse this? Just, you know, re-engineer it. And like, if I cut it, you know what I could do? I could cut it in half and then glue at least this piece on the outside and this on the front, got double thickness, or the other side of it, however I want to do it. And this itself could be the journal. Okay, so I have two options here. I have both of these. But look, this looks like it goes with that better. Okay, that's why I'm doing this, to decide where things are gonna go. Okay, my box is empty. My pile is gone. Well, my big pile of chaos. Now what I have are, you know, organized piles. And the organized piles are what I'm gonna go shopping for my junk journal supplies. So one thing I didn't mention while I was, you know, sorting piles, I do have some things like this that are cut off sticker paper. And so I've just kind of gathered them over here. And especially these small pieces, I kind of save them to, you know, if I'm going to stamp words on them or type words on them or something. I've got my stamps right here. Now this is way more than I'm going to need. But I have them right there. And then these are actually a lot bigger that I could use, you know, bigger stamps on. I could put on the back of, let's see, like, okay, for instance, if I wanted to use this as a journal card, I could just put some of the sticker paper on the back, and it could be for, you know, a journaling spot. And there you have it. This is if I was doing like no decorating. I was just using what I had, which is one option of a junk journal. In fact, I put it in there. But, so I think what I'll do with these pieces here for now, I'll put them in the box that had like not full sheets. And so now that I've done that, I'm just gonna, oh, I totally forgot this was under here. This was the lid to one of those boxes, and I loved that this was on the inside. And I was thinking, I'm going to use this somehow in the journal. Maybe it'll be on the front cover. Oh, that is what it'll be. I was just like talking to myself out loud that no, that this could be the thing that sits on the front cover. So now we know whatever size we're gonna make. It is the cover, the focal point. This is gonna be my focal point. Oh, so see, you just never know where you're gonna find things for journaling. Oh, I love this too. I, you know, like to keep all kinds of crown words and imagery. So what I think I'm gonna do is I'm gonna scan this into the computer so that I can use this in like some kind of digital collage work, and then cut it out, cut it up, and use this. This has to go on my. So my first decision has been made for me. The focal point of the cover. That's not usually how it goes. Sometimes I get the signatures all together and then figure it out. But okay, so that was not why I turned the camera on here. All of the things that I was putting in here that, you know, it's like everyday ephemera, not really like, I gravitate towards more neutrally vintage looking things. And I put all of the things in here that I wouldn't necessarily make a page, like turn into a signature. I guess this could be, but it's shiny. But if I thought it could be used as elements in the junk journal, I put it in here. You know, it has things from my flights this summer. It has packaging. Oh, this has a bottle. Oh, there it is. I peeled it off the bottle. I think it was when I was traveling, because how cool is that? This definitely was just screaming, put me in a junk journal. So I said, okay, I will. This was an upside. Oh, this was from my journal that my daughter got me. So, you know, these are like things that I just, we planted sunflowers this year, and this was literally the package. Yeah. So I put all the things in here, and these will be what I will use to decorate the pages. I do have a couple of things in packages that I did not take out. I think these are the only two things that have not been removed from their package. This little frame. At first I thought, oh, this could be on the front of the journal, but I see that it's not gonna fit per se. You know what, if it do well. Anyway, I'll keep thinking about it. This one, and then this cording, which I've had for a while. I bought more than one of these, and I've used them as actually to hold signatures in to other journals. So I thought I'd just leave it on here for now. But yeah, all kinds of things from my, looks like Hobonichi, all kinds of stuff. So that's what I did. I would say if I would say I had a kit, if I were strictly using junk journal stuff, which kind of that's where we're going to start, this would be it. Also, if I didn't want to use this in my junk journal that, you know, I'm making, this would all be good stuff for like a smash book, a glue book. I've got started kind of one like that. If you just want to smash things in a book with no rhyme or reason, it doesn't need to have any specific aesthetic, right? It's just that this stuff would be good for that. And I may end up doing that with it. I mean, maybe it's not all going to go in the junk journal. And what I have started doing so far in this little 69-cent plastic thing I got from the charity shop was kind of putting in the smaller things that either I had, you know, ripped out of something, cut out of something, words. Oh, I could use that on some of the map page, couldn't I? Here's some stamps in there. You know, just whatever. Fussy cuts, card, packaging. These were, you know, could be used as journal cards. I don't know, just things. I just put them in here. They're kind of grouped by size or type. All these things would make good journal cards. I cut them out of little magazines or off the packaging, or they were the packaging to something. And these are just these little more packaging in these little pockets. I just stuffed those back there. So this, all I've done is just gathered things that seemed like items. And that is how we will start. Okay, I have to do things right when I think of them or forget. That's a little bit of ADHD in me, which is why I sometimes take longer to get to the thing because anybody else. Anyway, I took a picture of this and then I edited it and played around with it until I liked it. And so now I have this image that now I can play around with in, you know, Design Space or Illustrator or Canva, whatever, and use it. I just think that's so cool. So, fun tip. Before you cut something up, whatever it is, go ahead and scan it or take a picture and edit it. Again, this is for personal use. I'm not going to be able to sell this image, you know, like this, but I can use it in my artwork and alter it. So that is what I will be doing. Okay, I cut it down to a manageable size. And this is my tip for you. If you have something like that big lid was, and you see something that you might use, go ahead and cut it down. You don't have to cut it down all the way. Like, I'm sure this is going to get smaller, but I at least cut it into a manageable size while I decide how I'm going to use it. Plus, it may even give you another idea, because as I was cutting it, I thought, well, what if I make this whole thing the front cover? But I was thinking, you know, what if this was the cover and I turn the page, but because it's upside down, it doesn't really work that way, you know. But, you know, it just helped me kind of be brainstorming ideas. So that's my tip. Just cut it down. Don't have to use the whole thing. It's okay. We're just recycling junk. So I decided the next step for me would just be to start assembling the papers. And then I can decide from there maybe what I want to use for my cover. I know I've kind of had some ideas along the way. I think that sticker book cover is just going to be too small for me. I had thought about this one, you know, and I still could. It's got all those little bits in there that I was going to use with it. So let's just put it in here. I mean, it's already got kind of a start. I definitely think I would want to cut it down. Let's see how our thing is going to fit on there. I don't know. Do I want to have it? Do I want to have a flip on it at all? And if I do, I don't really know. I don't know yet, because if that's the case, then I'd have to make this bigger, I think. And the textures don't feel like they're gonna work together, so I'm gonna need to cut this down even more to be able to see it. I just kind of folded them back, and that's okay, but as I'm doing that, I'm thinking, why couldn't this just be the cover, right? Like, I mean, that could be a spine, and then I'd still need to figure out a back piece. But if I use this and just put it on, I mean, I would still cut, if it was gonna just be the focal point on there, I'd have to cut this down even smaller. But I'm thinking now, how big is that? Let's just measure it over. This is, it looks like it's 8 by 6 3/4. And a letter size piece of paper is about 8. Well, this isn't gonna be perfect because it's kind of messed up there, but it's okay, it'll give us an idea. Look at that. And it's okay if it's a little not perfect. I mean, this is a junk journal. I think I have found the cover to my junk journal. We'll just have to play around with what the back's gonna be, but that's perfect. Okay. So again, do not be afraid to play around with things. So this is an awfully big spine, and this looks like it would be a better size spine, but you know what? I'm gonna leave this one on for now. I'm gonna cut this one off, I think. I don't need a flap on the inside, do I? Well, I mean, maybe I could. Maybe it could be a flap. All right, I'm not gonna cut either of these off yet while I figure out what my back's gonna be. But in the meantime, we now know that this is what size our signatures need to be. So I can start assembling those. And I decided I was going to do them off camera, and then I thought, well, I should do them on camera, but honestly, I'm going to take the box down, bring the things up, cut them, all that. I don't think that'll be fun for you to watch, but just to show you, you know, some of the things that are in here that I'll be using. Not some of, these are the things I'm using. Book, magazine, I can't use all of it. I mean, there's just so much in here. But I threw this in here, even though it's packaging. It was the backdrop to some things I was painting. I was like, you know what? Let's just throw that in there. Magazines. I do have some junk mail. I have some actual paper that I was like, might as well use that. That can be writing, journaling spaces. Yeah. So obviously this is too much, but it looks like we could put together a couple of a couple of signatures, because if we go ahead and use this wide of a spine, we're going to have plenty enough room to, you know, grow it. So I'm going to do that, and then I'll come back. I have folded all the pages. So the pile of paperwork, I just folded them in half. I didn't use all of them because there's a lot, but what I did was everything that I thought, surely other people have things like this. These were the inside of some frames that I purchased to be, we used for the awards that we gave out at the pageant. So I saved those for this project. Some of the iron-on material. This was an advertisement. Another picture frame that we had some larger ones, but you know, that looked interesting. And then I had some printouts. These must have been from Junk Journal July, maybe. Could have been January. I honestly don't even know anymore. July. And these were, they didn't print out good, so I had to do some prettier ones, but I saved these because I'm like, you know what? Why throw it away? It'll go into my junk journal. And this, I just tore it in half and made 2 pieces. This I used to make eco-dyed papers, which I thought I would use for this. And so I just saved them. I've got this. I'm not sure how where we're gonna put it in there, but this material, this was in one of the packages I got, and I was like, this is real interesting. I'm not sure how I'm gonna put that together as we're assembling it. I was just gonna show you what I pulled together here. And so a sticker thing, I used all the paper, so that was there. This was, I folded this way. I thought that would be interesting. But most of them, I just folded them in half. This was, oh, the other part of that packaging. The printout, little piece of paper. This one had, I started to draw something and I didn't like it, so. This I glued something to the top of it to print on and run it through my printer, and then when I printed off, that was what was left. So I hope you're seeing here, literally, it doesn't have to be fancy. This was a photo stock, and it didn't print. I don't know, my printer was acting weird. Another piece of paper that I could have thrown away. Again, from a junk mail, but I love this. So I just included a couple of those in here. And it just has, you know, also the foreign language, you know, all the languages on the back. So that's what I have. Now I'm just going to sort these together and find out if we have enough to fill the width of this spine. Okay, it's one big signature, and I just kind of put them in there as I was going, what felt, you know, kind of natural. I will kind of rip the edges off and stuff once I get it settled in there, but so far I think I like the way it is. I'm just going to flip through here, and my rationale for how I did them was just make sure we don't have too many of the same type of material next to each other. I mean, so sometimes there's not really anything I can do about it, but just for interest, just to have, you know, something different. And this, I love that this is here with all this junk journal-esque stuff. I just love this. And it is going to be chunky for one signature, but it's fine. Just put them all in there. So we have a variety of textures and finishes. There's a lot to play with. And yeah. I think I'm going to put that right in the center. Why not? Is anybody counting how many pages that is? And let's just count going back this way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, right? 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, wow, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29. We could probably break this into two, actually. We could break this into two. Yeah, let's go ahead and do that. There, maybe that's a little better. Yeah, there we go. And then kind of justifies our very large spine. I was thinking maybe if I was just going to use one, I would stick with this side to be the spine, which I guess we could still do. I just feel like this is a lot for me to hold on to, but this would be, you know. Yes, that is what we're going to do. Okay. So now that I've figured that out, I'm going to remove these, and now I need to find a back, you know, to go with that. I just used some duct tape. I was looking for some brown, but I think I gave it to someone. So, you know, like brown that looked like this. But it's okay because now we're going to cover this. And I don't want to cover this per se, but I do need to cover this, and the back has my address visible. So, I do want to cover it. I'm just not sure what yet. And so, but I'll want to, you know, seal off this too. But I made sure we've got a good spine. That is going to be perfect. Let's get our papers in there. Just kind of holding them like that. Perfect. It looks like also it's a little big, but that's okay because it's going to chunk up. That I could trim off a little bit of it still maybe, but once we get it like that, it'll be okay. And then I'll adjust all the pages and stuff. Okay. I'm probably at a stopping point for tonight. What I may still do is I was thinking I would line the inside with this, maybe. Or any one of these magazines here. I brought these back from my grandmother's when I was there the last time. And, well, like the airport, you know. And these actually were hers. And, you know, her mail had piled up. And it was probably one of the last ones she read before she, yes, it was. I talked to her on the 17th, on the 16th and 17th. She went to the hospital. So I've decided this is what I'm going to use. This is a piece of wrapping paper from my 50th birthday party. Yes, I've been holding on to it. I'm not 51 yet, so it's not that long, but I'm going to use it. It occurs to me that I should come on here and show you where I'm at. So this paper is not like paper. It's like aluminum foil paper. It's like metal paper. So that's been fun to cut. At least it's sharpening my scissors as we go. So what I did was I butted it right up against this fold. May have to trim a little. But it's going to be fine because I'll have something covering it at the end. And then I just glued the spine. And then I made sure that was down. And then I glued this part. Give it a little better. And then when I got to here, I cut it off. And then I mitered my corners, because the next thing will be to fold it in and glue it down before we add this way. But I'm paying attention to where the fold is, and I'm going to cut that just a smidge, kind of like an angle there, just a little, so that I can fold this up separate from this, and it'll still be okay to fold. And I'll do the same over here. And it's fine that it's not perfect, right? It's fine. We're literally using all things that would be in the trash otherwise. So, and no one's gonna know. Once I put the end papers over it, you're not even gonna be able to tell that this is not cut straight. Okay, so my next thing, I am gonna cut that slightly at an angle too. Okay, so the next thing I'm gonna do is glue these down, and then I will cut this piece to fit exactly in here, which that's going to be the fun part. Okay, what I've decided is that I am not going to use the aluminum foil paper, wrapping paper, which is beautiful and I love it on the inside. So I have a couple of other options. I have, these were dividers from a 3-ring binder that I, need to recycle. And they're actually pretty sturdy, because it's glued, pages are glued. It had a divider, it was ugly, I put this over it. So I could, do this one here or something, and then have this one, I would trim off the hole punched, and then here, but I wouldn't cover the spine. I would leave that open, if I'm making any sense at all. Here, it would look like this. So I'd have these covered, and then as the end papers, and then probably what I was thinking is I could do a hidden spine here with that. I could maybe do a pamphlet stitch, like a 3-hole stitch, but make a separate spine that once it's joined in, then I can glue it to here, and then I could put this over it, which is what I think I will do now that I've talked it out loud. So these will go on last after the, but I do want to cut them down to size. So let's just see what size they're going to be. Is this what I want them here? Yeah, okay. So I'm just going to eyeball it. Again, it doesn't have to be perfect. This is for me, right? But kind of taking you through all the steps in case you want to make your own. Okay, did that draw it? Okay, perfect. And then let's see, how do I want to, I kind of want this, so I need to cut the 3 hole punches off first. Okay, there we go. Now let's see. And like that. So let's there we go. And then one of these. Ah, how perfect is this going to be the spine? Okay, let's cut these down first. All right. Yeah. I can probably even trim them down a little bit more. But okay. So these will go on after we get the hidden spine in there. So now what's going to be that? I like that one. Okay. So we're going to leave a little space here for our, you know, we got to have space for the fold, which I probably should have measured that to begin with. But yet, here we are. Again, just winging it. What did my father always say? Do as I say, not as I do. But you know what? Feel free to wing it when you're making your own. Okay. I could be precise and measure it, but perfect. And perfect. Okay, perfect. And then they'll sit in here like this. Once we get the signature sewn into here. Okay, so you know what I can do since these are coming apart already? Look at that. See? That is what it was glued to. Let's see. This can be our guide for our signatures, right? So I'm going to have two signatures, so I am just going to fold one side in like this. So this is where I will sew one signature. And then we'll fold the up. It's almost perfect with this for us already, but I'm going to do it anyway. Okay. So this is where I'm going to sew the two signatures. I think that. Oh, let's get this out of the way. That should be wide enough for us, but let's check. Oh yeah, that's plenty. So I'm going to sew each signature into the valley that I made. And so this is my template. I'm going to poke the holes in here where the needle's going to go through. And then I will open this up and line up those holes here. That way everything matches. I hope I was clear as mud there. All right, once I have put them both into, once they've both been bound to this piece here, this is the part that's going to be hidden spine. This is the back, and this is what's going to get glued first to here. But before I do that, I'm just going to add a little extra tape there because I can. No other reason. I just feel like holding that down because this is just like, not great thread. I mean, it'll work. It's fine, But I just feel better about that. There we go. Now see, because I threaded it through the signature this way, my knots are going to be in there and you won't see them here inside the signatures. So next thing we're going to do is now, also it gave it a little more support there. That was actually smart. I wasn't planning it, but our next is just to glue, line this up and glue it here. And so I'm going to use my favorite glue, which is Fabri-Tac, which I've been using for most everything. And I think I'm gonna put it all here and then set it down on it. And Fabri-Tac dries pretty quickly, so you gotta work fast, but that's good. I don't have to wait a long time for it to dry. Okay. Remember what was the front? Aha, this is the front. Now I'm just gonna hold it there. Sorry, my camera's shaking. I'm just gonna hold it there. Oh, our lid ended up in here. Press it down there. All right, pretty good. Now the reason why we put that down first is my little pieces here that I just moved are gonna sit right here, but I think I do want to add some other tape, you know, something to bring it, because sometimes people will make this, you know, with a fold and another piece there, which I did not do. So let's use this. I'm good with it. Again, this is my junk journal. There's no rules. Just give it a little extra stability, and also maybe to camouflage some of that pink there. Okay. I'll come in and trim the edges here when we're done. But, oh, there we go. Just a little extra support. Okay, let's cut that off. There. And there. All right. Last thing we're going to do now is put our end pages in. Just make sure they are the way I wanted them to go. There we go. Now make sure we still are clear of the fold. Okay. All right. Now we're going to glue it down. And I don't want it to move, so I'm going to start gluing this way. I just do that because I want the ends to stay good and closed. Okay, I've been letting the edges crimp down there. This is still a little extra gum gluey there. That's all right. Okay. All right. We have our journal together now with all of our junk. And my next thing to do is to find how I'm going to cover this part of the spine. What I'm going to do with it. I was thinking some kind of fabric, maybe, but I'm pleased with how it's turning out so far. And I'm trying to think if I've used anything new so far. The glue, but again, that's not really new per se, but you know, I had it. The tape, you know, the duct tape that's about gone, and the masking tape, which, you know, but otherwise all the rest of the stuff was from that junk pile. Pretty pretty good for us. Okay, so maybe what I didn't think was making a closure for it, but I'll worry about that after I figure out what's going to go here. Let me go check through my fabric bins and see what I can find. Okay, my fabric bin, which this doesn't, these are just little bits. I did pull this out, my most recent trip to my favorite little antique store. She always has something fun there, and that's just like some lace, but I mean, that might be okay on top of something, but I don't know what else I want there. Ooh, cards. What else do I have in here? Stamps? Ooh, I should do a, okay, no, fabric things. So, let's see, what else have we got that I can use? So, I think these are more like, would work for like trims on the edge of the page, or as closures. I don't think any of these are kind of wide enough for what I'm thinking. Keep this in mind for my closure though. Favorite place to shop? Salvation Army, I think maybe it was this one. Yeah, I don't love the color of that. What do we have here? Maybe. Okay. Here. I mean, the lace is all right. Ooh, you know what? I need something like this. No. No. Okay, well, let's see about this fabric. How would we do this? Well, it'd be big enough. You could have enough of it. We're having a storm. Okay, so what I'm thinking would be, here, let's open the book. So what I'm thinking, oh, we could put this kind of like that over the spine. And then we could, I don't know why I like the way this looks. Let's see, how do you, oh, there it is. She stapled it. And I don't remember what I paid for this, but yes, I bought this at the antique place. But again, I'm recycling it. I'm rescuing it from, you know, could have ended up anywhere else. But it ended up where I could rescue it. Look, I may have done all this and decided I don't love it. That's okay. I mean, I don't think I want to just put that there by itself. I just think that's not enough. This is sort of, do we just cover the whole spine with it maybe? I don't know. I don't know. Let's see. Is that, can we tear it there? Let's see. Well, I think so. I think I just want to cover this edge here that's unfinished, really. And then, all right, it's okay if it's a little, you know, a little big. There we go. Okay. my tea my daughter made. Delicious. Where am I going to put it? Okay, this should be dry. So before I glue the rest of it down, I just want to see how it's going to fold. See, I didn't want to glue it while it was straight because then it would be stretched and have a hard time coming over. And I'm okay just leaving a little, you know, little gap there and just gluing it flush with the back. That way we have plenty of room for the opening and closing. So I think we'll just do it like that. Ah, there we go. Perfect. Looks like our hidden spine is coming unglued a little. But hey, it's a junk journal. What you gonna do? What are you gonna do? See how the bottom looks. Oh yeah, it's fine. Probably need to add a little more pressure here because this is where the tension's gonna be pulling on it. Now, if you're making along with me, this is great. This is a great place to stop. You know, it's gonna be just great, but so I'm gonna be a little extra here if I have my corners. Got some cloth ones. Do I want cloth? I don't know. Probably not. What else have we got in here? We got those. I got a box of hardware over here. That's what I'm digging through. I used to have the kind of corners that you crimp down. Am I out of those? Where else would they be? I mean, I guess maybe I'm out of them. Okay, well, so I gotta decide. These then would just be decorative, like just to, you know, glue them on. They wouldn't necessarily, the kind that I like to use, they sit over and they crimp down on the corners, so they're corners, and they also act as a reinforcer. This is not really what I wanted because I do want that extra crimp. So I guess maybe that would be something I would buy just to have a finishing touch there. All right, well, we're gonna have to call it good for now then. We have our junk journal base all put together. Now we can just fill it up. So if you have enjoyed watching how I do this with my junk and would like to join me as I, you know, fill it up, then hit the like, subscribe, and come back and, hey, drop me a comment below. Do you junk journal? Or are you going to try and follow along? If so, let me know, and let me know your channel, like where I can find you if you're on YouTube or Instagram, and it'll be fun. Thanks for joining. Have a great day.